Cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Without it, you may experience decreased inhibition, giggle fits, and of course, deep talks. Early in the morning, your cortisol levels peak and continue to decrease throughout the day, reaching your lowest point at midnight. This is a Low Cortisol Podcast. Welcome to the Midnight Hour.
Welcome to the Midnight Hour, a Low Cortisol Podcast. I'm Elijah.
I'm Finch.
I'm Gabe.
And today we'll be talking about a variety of different things.
And Harold.
And Harold.
And Harold.
Well,
We
let's
forgot-
take a
yeah.
second. Let's take a second. We found a mannequin in the broadcast center, but it's like only half of a body.
Top
like
half.
He's top half.
He's also
missing his legs.
making me question my sexuality.
Whoa.
He is attractive.
He's got a nice jawline.
He's got a really nice face.
The eyes, honestly, are both staring into my soul and into my heart.
He's also staring directly at me.
Yeah, he really is right now.
I don't know how I
So
feel about that.
I walked into the broadcast center. It's late. It's the midnight hour, right? We record late. And I walk into the center and all the lights are off. And then one of the auto turn on lights turns on and I just see the silhouette of a man sitting in the corner. And it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it startles me so bad. I physically jump. And this has happened a couple times now because it's been here for a few days. So I decide, you know what would be fun is if when Elijah and Gabe are getting set up in here, I grab him, come over and knock on the window of our little studio and with his hand and then play with his fingers on the glass so they look and it's just his face looking through it at them.
Terrifying.
My first genuine reaction, you knocked on the glass, and I thought it was a dude. It was like a really short man. I was
Genuine
terrified. It was not good.
He's heavy. I don't know if you guys noticed. He's heavy. It was
Is
not.
he?
He wasn't like hard to get over here, like hard to carry, but awkward to carry for sure.
He's been hitting the gym too.
We
Look at him.
named him Harold, if that wasn't clear.
Okay, but how?
Honorary member of the podcast. We have him sitting at the table with a mic plugged in. Harold, can we hear from you? Wow, he's got away with words.
We had headphones on him earlier to really get him immersed in the midnight hour. Got anything to add, Harold? Nah, he's quiet today. All right, let's try.
I don't know. Those eyes spoke volume.
I don't appreciate them. I'm not gonna lie.
We gotta bring sunglasses for him next time.
Oh, that'd be so
Oh
good.
my gosh.
All right, so our topic today, to start off with, is we're going to be talking about the concept of talent, what it means, how people view it, and maybe some negative downsides to the term. And I feel like, let's start off, what's the general kind of definition of talent that you'd give?
I feel like talent, the way most people view it, is like, oh, you're like really, really good at something. And at least the way I see it is like, oh, you're really good at this. And people don't think that you had to try really hard to get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people look at talent as like you were born with it kind of thing, but you can like be really good at something if you just work really hard at it, or
Yeah.
just better than you were previously.
100%.
Yeah. You guys covered it, at least my thoughts on it. I think the biggest issue with the term talent is that it completely just detracts from the effort that was put in by the individual. It paints, I think people use it to feel better about their insecurities. They want to convince themselves that the reason that they couldn't do this was because of a lack of some birth talent that the other person just was lucky with the odds. And you know what? There's some things that exists.
Yeah.
100%.
Some
yeah.
people are natural athletes. Some people are naturally more like acute. I would never possibly be able to be a mathematician no matter how much work I put into it. But how much does it suck to be on the receiving end of like, wow, I wish I was as talented as you. And it's like, dude, I put 150 hours into this project.
Right?
It's like I hope I'm good at this.
Yeah, like
Right?
and past that, I feel like too on the reverse side for people that weren't necessarily labeled as talented, which was me when I was younger a lot of the time, especially compared to my siblings who were both like stellar students, straight A's, kind of, we'll say apple of the teacher's eyes, because I feel
Ooh.
like teacher's pet's not exactly the best term. And I was a bit more of a trouble kid, a little bit of a black sheep of the family. And the term talent was always really hurtful to me, specifically because it felt like they labeled everyone they liked as talented and everyone else they just said nothing. And it put this idea out that if they didn't say you were talented, they didn't think that you were worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that to like
Yeah.
some extent. It's tough because a lot of people don't see like how much work people put into stuff. So they just see like, are you good or are you not good? They don't see like the whole middle section where it's like the progress and the effort you've put in and like the steady increase in skill or whatever.
A lot of
is
the
you're
time,
doing.
that process happens like over years.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like so many years being put into something, and then finally like showing people, and then it's like, oh, I wish I had your talent. Like I wish that I was as good as this as you are. I get that a lot, where it's like, I wish I was as good as you are, and I'm like, I've been at this for over a decade.
Yeah.
Like, you just
Killing it
gotta
since
work.
1981. Okay, here's an interesting one because I've heard this as the kind of reverse. I'll play devil's advocate here, even though
Sure.
we're kind of all in agreement here.
Yeah.
I've been told as a response from people that to be hardworking is a talent. That is natural. That it's not that it detracts from the fact that you put that work in, but that the ability to do so isn't something that everyone has. And at the end of the day, if you do or don't have that, could be considered talent. Where do you guys line up with that?
I feel like work ethic and talent are not related.
Is like a trait, a talent, you know, like your hard work ethic or like your sheer determination. Like, is that talent? Like, what's the, I don't know if there's like a concrete definition for that concept.
How have you guys felt historically growing up when, let's say that whether you excel at something or you did something really well, and it's especially like it was born out of your hard work, especially when there was adversity from the people around you. Maybe they didn't support it or they actively shunned it. And then when it comes time for some sort of like the final product's done and people are witnessing it, how many times did you hear stuff like, wow, like, you guys did such a good job, like instilling your kid with that love of whatever, or I'm so, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, ooh, you guys must have been so supportive. And it's like, hello.
Yeah, I feel like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I didn't get that a whole lot growing up. When I did well and like I excelled at something, it was because I did it.
Okay.
And like, obviously I get like all the time is my parents they instilled our love of music into both me and my sister, because they started us very young. We walked into like the Long and McQuaid and they went, pick something.
Question.
Yeah.
Is it also because every time your dad takes a step, it's technically percussion?
Whoa. Okay.
That's
Context.
a jab, dude.
My-
Jesus Christ.
My dad is an amputee, for context.
Oh, did not know that. Did not know that. Wow, that is information. Harold, are you hearing this right now, Harold? Are you getting this?
I didn't know you didn't know that, Elijah.
No, my father
I was
is
like,
an
what are
amputee.
you saying right now?
He lost his leg. I think it was December of 2019.
Oh, that's so
20
much more grave than I ever thought it could be. Oh, this is
Yeah.
awesome. Wow, I'm sorry.
We were actually, in regards to that
He's got
story,
a really cool leg, though.
it's so cool. It's Bluetooth.
Bluetooth legs?
He has a
Jacob in the sound booth, sorry.
yeah.
His
Hey,
reaction.
also, I just want to, like, real quick. This is a great topic, and I apologize for cutting it off.
No,
Can we
you're
just
good.
thank Jacob for being our board engineer?
Everyone,
today?
give it up for Jacob.
Thank you,
honestly,
Jacob.
What a
Little
hero!
round of applause.
Yay.
We got him in last minute because someone else they fell through, and he came in. No warning. I messaged this guy. I'm like, hey, can I borrow you for like maybe 10, 15 minutes? And before I could even explain what it was, he says, you need my help? I'm on my way.
Legend.
What a hero.
What an absolute
Legend.
trooper.
But not as much of a hero as the beer cooler in your father's leg.
My dad has, I think it's number 6 or 7 of like the most advanced leg in the country.
Their rankings for Bluetooth legs?
It's like a shonen. It's literally a shonen anime.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's got a graphing calculator.
Insurance, man. We were gonna get a computer engineer to like hook it up with speakers, so when he goes out to his workshop to work on his like woodworking stuff, at Handcrafted by Dennis on Facebook.
Whoa, the plug? The plug?
Shout out
I'm
to
gonna
my
bleep
dad.
that out. I'm gonna bleep it out in post.
Hey, can I get your number?
You
Sorry.
gotta pay for that sponsorship.
Just imagine. Hey, can I get your number? Sorry, I only talked to top 3 Bluetooth legs. You're only ranked 6. You gotta step it up. Like, imagine that. That's. What is that?
It's like over. I think it's worth over like $60,000.
Oh my god.
Like insurance came through.
Sorry,
on
Jacob's
us.
reactions in the sound booth are absolutely incredible. Every time we talk about this leg,
Jacob, did you know about this?
Jacob does not
didn't
know.
I don't think it's like a common knowledge. I thought Elijah knew.
I thought it was common knowledge.
Oh wow.
Okay, cool.
My night just got so much better.
did the percussion aid your love of music?
Sorry, we just like deterred completely from the topic.
I'm like, I don't know. I feel like specifically how squeaky his leg is did not affect my love of music. But it is funny sometimes when it lines up with the songs I'm listening to when he's walking around.
Did anyone see that Phineas and Ferb episode where they bring the band back to get their love handle for their parents' anniversary?
Dude, we're getting the band back together.
Yeah. And the drummer falls asleep in a metronome factory and says that he lost his sense of rhythm. What would you do if you lost your sense of rhythm because of the constant squeak leg?
Oh, that would be horrible.
You would
loaded
get
question.
I
really
already
cool,
have such a bad sense of rhythm.
You would get a cool drum solo with 2 pencils for some reason, inexplicably in a library.
Because I ain't got rhythm.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a solid episode.
It's a solid show.
Yeah, straight up.
I had a video come up on my TikTok today about that. It was like, what's the like the little tip of the end of a shoelace called?
An egglet.
And why do you know that? Because of Phineas and Ferb.
No, I'm just weird.
Okay, you're ruining the bit here, but I know it because of Phineas and Ferb, because there's a whole song and a whole episode.
I think I knew it, but I don't know where I know this
Well,
from.
they had a song about it in Phineas and Ferb.
Okay, I don't remember the song. So.
AG.
But I'll
wait,
let you.
did that get copyrighted? I think it could.
I think it can.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Never mind. Wait, what if I sing it really out of tune? What if I sing it to the tune of like, I don't know, like Crazy Train?
But if you just like distort it like
Train.
heavily.
AGLET.
Damn.
Can you get copyrighted for singing the tune of a song with the lyrics of another song? And
Probably.
which one could copyright you, or both?
You could probably do both.
Probably both.
Wow. What a world we live in. Capitalism, am I right, guys?
Hey, let's try it right now. Double whammy.
I've been doing a little bit of research on copyright and how it functions. And man, some of it is crazy. Okay, don't look at me like that, Gabe. I just do this sometimes, all right?
You know when you research copyright, just like randomly.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Just 'cause
I
you
was
can.
like reading about some of the old YouTube copyright infringement cases, mainly the one like surrounding like H3H3. I don't know if you guys know about that, but some guy was putting out scummy videos. He reacted to it and was like, hey, this is scummy and dumb. And the guy tried to sue him for like multiple $1 million for
Whoa.
like image defamation as well as for stealing content. And all of them failed eventually, but it cost like hundreds of thousands. By the end.
Wow.
They got it back, I think. And they're pretty wealthy anyway, so I don't think they're that worried.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
probably
cool.
bankrupted the dude who tried to sue them.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
probably.
For sure. How big was the dude who like tried to get him on that?
I think it was like about 1 million subs.
That's
This
still-
is back
that's
in the
still
heyday of YouTube when that actually paid.
That
too.
is still significant, yeah.
God, back in YouTube when 1,000 subscribers meant that you could live off of it.
That golden play button,
Golden
baby.
age. Man. That's crazy. You know, I was thinking about this the other day that it's really cool and all that the world is expanding to more and more avenues for people to be able to make income and find ways to make their own income and all of that. That's awesome. I'm happy about that. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it functions and the way that we like pick and choose how the way that advertisers get to control content based on what pays is kind of terrifying.
Kind of, yeah.
It's just like another branch of things getting controlled that you don't think should be controlled by people with money. And it's a little bit of a smaller scale. It's not quite the top level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like the multi-billionaire 1% as much as it could even just be like a small company could sponsor you. Like Dennis's woodworking. Please hit us up with the bag, Dennis. Hit us with the bag.
Dennis, it is with the bag.
Oh, I really want to talk about the ornament, Gabe, but for you, I won't.
No.
So we were talking about like music, and then
Before that, we were talking about talent.
talent,
Well, I
everybody.
mean, at least in my life, those two things have most been connected. I'm not exactly athletic.
I have a fun idea. And this is going to be terrible for each of us in turn, but then fun when it's not you. I want us to
gosh.
go around the table and the opposing people say what they think the like person who's in the spotlight's like greatest talent is.
Ooh, that's
And I want us
tricky.
to start with Elijah because he's physically in the spotlight, the only light I turned on in the room because I didn't want it to get too hot in here.
'Cause I'm so pretty.
I think Elijah's...
Did you look at Harold?
Harold, give me validation,
You know
Harold,
what,
please.
you know what, guys? This is easier. Let's start with Harold.
Okay.
I think Harold's greatest talent is having those eyes.
I think his greatest talent is advanced filmmaking.
That's fair. His greatest
Those
talent might
sweet,
also
sweet
be
eyes.
not moving. He's really good.
very
at
good.
that. He's
Yeah.
great at staring contests.
And silence.
He's never lost a staring contest in his life.
He's still staring at me.
That's good. That's good. All right. Elijah. I think Elijah has not only a sense of humor, but an ability to malleably and instantly form his way into a way to not like either lead or enhance any joke. I don't think there is a comedic situation that he does not excel in.
Oh, I
don't
100%
think
agree.
that's true, but I appreciate it because there's like some instances where I just can't, like my brain can't do it. Like I just don't, because like there's like a window where you can say a thing and it's still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when a conversation's over, like okay, you have like a 20-second window and then you like can't say it anymore because then it just doesn't make sense.
Do you think that it means that it's no longer impressive if you do not get 100% at all times? I'm looking at you, Gabe, because this also applies to you and me, honestly. All right, hit us, Gabe. What's Elijah's talent?
I'm gonna need a minute to think here.
Wow, you're
'Cause-
terrible.
No, I'm 100% terrible.
See, now I have to think because then when it comes around to me, I'm gonna look like an
This
ass.
Because
is
like
not
I agree
hard, guys.
that like I just agree because like you never fail.
You're not supposed to agree. You're supposed to give your.
I don't spend that
It's
much
supposed to
time
be
with Elijah
fun,
right
guys.
now.
It's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be a good time, guys. No, I want to kill you both.
We're having a good time.
It's a fantastic time.
Harold, say something.
You're tearing this family apart, Harold.
Harold, I know about Janine.
Whoa.
Look at me.
He shed a tear made of plastic.
See?
I reached out for Harold, but I did not touch him.
Harold's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Like the Grinch.
Like the
Grinch.
It was weirdly Jamaican.
Okay.
All right, Gabe, come on, you've had time.
Ah. Being very put on
We
the spot.
stalled for you.
All right, what if I am speaking? I will go around for everyone. You guys have time then.
Okay.
I gave Harold's, I gave Elijah's. Surprise attack. I think Jacob's is that
Jacob in the booth.
Jacob is so good at making people feel valued and listened to. The guy just understands how to make people feel heard. Partially, he's a quieter guy, you know? Gives you your chance to spot, but it's also like he makes you feel like you are the only important thing he's listening to. Like you're the most important thing in the room.
Yeah.
He really is great at that. All right, I've given everyone. Who wants to go next? I look at Gabe and watch the life leave their eyes.
Sure. Okay. Elijah, I think you're just so incredibly like reliable. Like
That's so true.
you're like always there,
Ride or die.
ride or die, 100% all the
Aw,
time.
you shouldn't have.
And like even last minute, like even today, last minute, being so down to like come and do all of this.
Because this is a fun podcast, man. This is a good time. I'm down.
I was telling Gabe just earlier today that I don't think I've ever had people in my life that make me feel as appreciated as the two of you. And one of the biggest things that comes down to is people valuing my effort and time by being so reliable.
Yeah.
Finch it's hard, but it's easy at the same time for you because you're so good at like everything in my mind.
Well, shucks.
Because like our skill sets differ
Mm.
like so much, but also just genuinely there's almost no other person that I'd rather like be with, like be
Wow.
around, just because like you genuinely make me feel like safe and like heard and appreciated, and like being the only one in our immediate friend group who's not in the radio broadcasting program, you're always one who makes sure I'm involved, which I really appreciate.
You heard it here first, guys. All you need to do is be a scrawny white guy and people will feel safe with you.
That makes 2 scrawny white guys
Two
on the
scrawny white
podcast. Oh,
Me and
man.
Elijah together are less than a full person's weight. But double a full person's weight.
I'm
height.
extremely malnourished. It's not. Might have health problems. Anyways, moving on.
I might be hospitalized.
Let's move on to Gabe. How you doing?
Hi.
Welcome to the Midnight Hour.
Thank you.
I think it's like our friend group is like a bunch of people in the radio and media program. And, like we're like stressed a lot. We have a lot of problems, but you have like a lot more problems. But you somehow like manage to uplift our group. You're like joy personified in a way. You're like a light in the group when we need it, which is like
Perfectly
very
said.
good.
Aww.
Gable had just finished like 9 exams, and we're like, oh my god, we have 1 exam this semester.
Yeah, we'll have like 3 practicals on the go, and you'll be like, you got it. And you just like, you're always there like supporting us. Like we'll be in the studio just like practicing. You're just there. You're just present. Being present, I feel like it's really important. So I do appreciate that.
Gabe's a real one.
Aw.
Fincher, big Fincher. I see you as like an older brother in a way.
Oh
You're
my
like,
goodness.
You're like,
That's the second person in our group that said that.
yeah, I look up to you. Well, my family's like old in general. Like my brother's like 28. But I look up to you as like a mentor in a way, because I feel like everything you do in this program is like everything you touch is gold. You're like Midas. Like I'm like I need to like be around this guy. Just see like you have like an aura about you. Like I feel like it's like the weirdest thing where you're like destined for greatness. I'm like I gotta see this guy like on his path. I gotta see him on his way.
Destined for greatness and yet failing at every corner. Let's go, guys. I put in 110% and miss 100% of the time.
Like you'll just be like editing audio. Like the last episode we recorded, and you just like I don't know. Let's just see how this goes. Then it instant like perfectly edits the audio, and we're like, how does that? That's like computer level. What's in your brain? What is your brain?
What is happening?
Give me your brain.
I do like sound waves. Well, thank you very much. That was very sweet. Harold, I expected a little more from you. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a place of growth. And
Jacob's
Jacob knew better.
losing his mind in the booth.
I think Jacob just like being present a part of this podcast is so great. Just like his reactions.
This is-
from separate from our.
yeah, it's a new level of fun. It
This
really
is amazing. Jay, you got to be present.
Jacob
in
gets
future episodes.
permanent engineering. I also have no issue with us having guest stars on once we get a little
Yeah.
bit of episodes under our belt.
mean,
and
we
Jacob
already
be a
got
great
one.
Guest star. True, we do have our first guest star.
Harold.
Everyone, welcome
Technically-
our first guest star, Harold.
Featuring
I
Harold.
swear, if you guys title the episode like whatever featuring Harold or like our guest star Harold,
Episode 1, Lucario's Nutsack. Episode 2, Harold's back.
I will not be showing up for future episodes if you name it that. Just letting you know right now.
Poor Jacob doesn't know the Lucario's Nutsack bit.
Oh my god.
Jacob will show you later. Anyway.
All right. I think as much as I don't think we touched at all on the topic, I do think we're at a time now where it's a good spot for us to break into our icebreaker.
Yeah.
So our icebreaker for the first one, Gabe organized. You want to introduce it or do you want me to?
I can do it.
Hit it.
So we're gonna start this one, and we're gonna do 2 truths and a lie, which is pretty classic. I feel like most people have played it at least on like the first day of school when your teacher's still trying to learn your name.
Like the 4th grade icebreaker, but we're bringing it here.
Yo, I did it in grade 12, but
That's
sure.
unfortunate. I'm sorry.
So you guys feel free to play along while you're listening and guess for each of us who is the lie.
Pause right
Which is the
now.
lie?
Come up with 2 truths and a lie. Come back. Play along.
Play along.
Play along. Rewind time and teleport into the studio and we will play with you. Oh my gosh. The audience was Harold this whole time.
The audience is Harold.
Our listeners were Harold personified. You guys should really talk more. Break out of your shell. Although you are doing it from the head.
Your head is like
Yeah, your head's split open.
Yeah.
Someone hit Harold on the head with something.
Harold's just a big egg. He's cracking.
Just cracked egg. All right. Who wants to go first with listeners?
I can go first listing mine.
Yeah,
Do
it's
it.
yours. Hit it.
Okay, so my 3. Number 1, I grew up in dance as a child. Number 2, I can change my own guitar strings. I am just currently refusing to do it. And number 3, my favorite animal is the flamingo.
Okay. I'll go next, and I'm going to spice it up a little.
Ooh.
I have fallen off of more than one roof.
Okay.
I have kissed more men than my wife. And I take multiple shots of sriracha every year.
That one I believe immediately.
Knowing you, absolutely. Elijah, you want to list yours?
This is good. This is good.
That's what we all took notes.
I've been to Cuba with my family 3 times in my life. Once in the 4th grade, once in the 6th grade, and once in the 10th grade. That's the first one. Second one of my childhood friends from my elementary school is coming to our college in the fall, and you will all be able to meet him.
Ooh.
Third one,
Almost
I
as
haven't
spicy.
seen every episode of One Piece, despite it being my favorite anime of all time.
Almost as spicy as a shot of sriracha.
Nice. what great callback. That's
Okay,
amazing.
here's what I think we should do. I think everyone should read those again, and then everyone puts their hand up where they think the lie is, and I want Jacob to participate. We got a nod. We got a nod.
Good
All
nod
right.
from Jacob.
All right,
I'll
Gabe,
go
hit
first.
it.
Okay, so I grew up in dance as a child. I can change my own guitar strings, and I'm currently refusing to. And my favorite animal is the flamingo.
Everyone gets guitar.
Everyone
Yeah.
gets the guitar
I don't know
ones,
how to
yeah.
change
You
my
know
own
how
guitar
I know
strings.
that? Because you asked me to change your guitar strings.
Did I?
Yeah.
You just instantly
And
knew
I
them.
said no because I actually am true of that. I do know how to, and I hate doing it.
Oh, I don't know how to. And
I
I have a 12 string, so it's kind of a pain.
Oh my
I
God.
just feel like it's annoying.
I would cry.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
I would actually cry.
Me and dance as a child was scary, though. I have pictures, like, in full face at age 7, and it's horrifying.
All right. I have fallen off of more than one roof. I've kissed more men than my wife. And I take multiple shots of sriracha per year. We got one.
Actually, no. I want to do the first one.
One Elijah Farouk, Gabe for sriracha. Jacob, what are you thinking? 1, 2, 3.
It's intense thought.
Two.
He's going two.
Ooh.
So everyone is a different one.
Everyone's split.
I've fallen off of more than one roof. I've only fallen off one. That's a joke. I
Damn.
actually haven't fallen off any.
I
You
got
kissed
it.
more men than your wife.
Way more.
That-
I'm the only one my wife's kissed, and I've kissed like probably 20 men.
This isn't a dig to you, but like I instantly knew that was true. You know.
And the sriracha one.
When you said that, I was like, yeah.
For the record, the sriracha one, when I get sick and my my nose is stuffy and my sinuses hurt, I take a shot of sriracha and add a little bit of boiling water and shoot it, and it like clears you right out.
Wow.
Hurts, but it clears you right out.
Painful.
Worth it.
Well, you said multiple times, so I just.
It's
didn't
like if
know.
you get a cold or something at least twice a year. Plus,
I guess.
I have really bad pollen allergies.
All right.
Guys, I'm 2 for 2 right now.
Yeah,
That's
Elijah's
amazing.
killing it.
Do I win? Do I win?
Well,
a
no,
pri-
because I'm 1 for 1.
Can I take Harold home
I'm-
as a prize, please?
I'm
do
one
I
for
do I
two.
earn Harold? Okay, here we go.
The first thing we do with any budget we get from this show is
Get Harold
offer to
legs.
buy Harold.
If we buy Harold from the broadcast,
I
center.
would do it. I would do it.
Incredible.
Put him where?
Okay, here we go. Here's mine again.
All right.
Put your hands up if you know the lyrics. Just kidding. I've been to Cuba with my family 3 times. That is it. I don't have to read it.
Everyone voted for it.
I've been twice.
Yeah.
I've also been twice.
Yeah.
And the other one was Nicaragua, where your brother got watermelon poisoning, and
Yeah,
you've
that was-
also
We
been to
talked
the
about-
Dominican Republic.
We talked
I've
about
not
the
been
watermelon
to
last
Wait,
time on the
who's been to the
podcast.
Dominican then? Someone in our friend group.
Not me.
Nope.
Donnie's from the Bahamas.
And Donnie's from the Bahamas. Yeah, we have a friend that's from the Bahamas, and that's cool.
Also, the
Good for him.
The food poisoning Nicaragua story was mentioned in the last podcast.
Oh
Well,
my
plug
gosh,
to the
the
first episode.
callback.
Go watch the first episode if you
Plug.
missed that story.
Plug to the first episode. I immediately saw Jacob rush to the levels because I was shouting, and I apologize. I'm sorry for shouting.
This poor sweet lad. Can we have like a warning sign if we're about to yell? Like I just put my hand up and I go, "What the heck?"
I was just excited. I was excited to plug the first episode. I'm sorry.
That's the episode of
Here's my
plugs.
sec. All
Episode
right,
Plugs.
on to the second topic. First date, do's, don'ts, and maybe a couple stories.
Ooh.
Doesn't have to be your first ever date. And honestly, if you got a great date and it's not necessarily the first date with a partner or anything, or even just a story from a friend, I think there's room. I think there's room for just about anything here. Let's start off with the do's and don'ts. What is something you think is integral or like the worst to do on a first date?
Don't bring up any dead family members on the first date.
Not the tip I was expecting, but understandable.
Don't be rude to wait staff.
Oh yeah,
If you go
that's
out
a
to
big
dinner.
one. That's a big one.
Don't. What's another one? Don't just talk about yourself the entire time. Like,
Fair.
listen too.
I think my biggest one is take a shower. You know? Like, let's say you're like 2 months into a relationship and you go to a date and you're kind of like, I'm not saying you smell bad even. You're just like, you clearly like, the hair's not there. It's more like a show of effort than anything else. Like if I
Yeah.
see someone, their hair's still a little damp, I'm like, wow, you showered just for this.
Yeah, because first impressions are important.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, you don't didn't put that much effort in, I'm like, what are we really doing here? Like,
But
what?
at the same
Right.
time, first impression is important. First date do's with me. Eat what you want. Don't go to
Yeah.
a thing and like be like, I'll get a salad. Like if I'm paying, get the worth out of my money.
Yeah.
If you want ribs, I don't care what you look
Get a
like.
full
after.
rack. Let's do
I
it.
respect you. If you on the first date get chicken wings and I see you like sucking the marrow out of the bones, I'm like, you know what? Wifey material.
You got what you came here for. You got what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, I think general dues, don't let any tips that anyone gives you stop you from being yourself, because there is no point.
That is
That's the biggest
incredibly
one.
true. That
There's just
is-
no point in the world in starting a relationship off of BS.
No,
Yeah.
there's no point in that. Because relationships keyword should, be based off of like honesty.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're coming in and like acting a fool and not being yourself, there's no point in that.
What's the example of the time it shouldn't be based off honesty? And I think it's if you are the lead singer of Franz Ferdinand in Take Me Out and you are in love with an assassin who's also going to kill you, based off of lies. Makes a great rom-com.
Jacob, don't look at me like that, Jacob.
Do you not know that song,
That's
Jacob?
The most terrified face on Jacob right now.
Jacob doesn't know.
Jacob doesn't know that song? Maybe I'm a little too old. Do you know that song?
I don't know that song.
Oh my gosh. You would recognize it if you heard it.
Okay.
I'm not going to like mime it here because that's... oof.
Yeah, that's
More
an
copyright.
accident waiting to happen.
Not just the copyright. No one wants to hear that. Ow! Did you guys hear me bang my
Yeah.
knee?
Jacob heard you bang your
Jacob
knee.
got that. That's
That
gonna be in
was
there.
deeply unpleasant. I hope it came over the mic too.
Oh man. Anyways, first dates, everybody.
First date.
First date. I remember my first date very vividly with my current boyfriend, because it was a whole thing of like I'd broken up with my ex 2 weeks before, and I was like, it wasn't a date. It wasn't a date. It wasn't a date. We went to go see Spider-Man in theaters. It wasn't a date until we got in the theater, and then I put my head on his shoulder and he took my hand and we walked out of that theater dating, and then my mom was like, it was a date, wasn't it? And I was like, you betcha it was.
Oopsie doodles.
And we've been together almost 4 years now, so Spider-Man, everybody.
Brings a tear to my eye. You bonded over No Way Home. That's a good day.
It was a good movie.
That's a solid
I
movie.
deeply wish that the Spider-Man movie that you guys had started dating on was the one with Tobey Maguire where he does the like little like collar pop dance.
Yeah.
If that doesn't get you all riled up, I don't know what would.
Oh, he's so smooth. Look at him. Oh.
Okay, here's a fun one. So I went, I was on student council, and my student council requested that I go to this leadership camp over the summer. Didn't tell me that it was like a religious leader camp until I got there.
Ooh.
I did have some hints in that my sister was part of it, and this doesn't like that's complete coincidence. That's crazy that we had an overlap there. Like she was doing a paid position with a summer camp. No, to be fair, she found out about it because she was on the same school student council and they sent her too. But still, anyways, I go there and I leave dating one of the counselors.
Ooh.
Fun fact about me, that's kind of standard play.
Me and Jacob nodding in
For
unison
young
to
Finch.
nodding in unison to the council dating. The counselor dating.
Yeah,
Oh.
dude, in grade 9, I was dating a person in their victory lab. It's like, it was borderline problematic because I looked way older.
Okay, that's like 14 and 18 though.
Yeah,
that's
it's
kind of
no, that's
bad.
creepy.
No,
It is
that's
creepy.
so creepy.
Genuinely.
It is
No, it's actually
genuinely
problematic.
concerning if you look at it with.
Jacob agrees.
Yeah. This one was not that big of a gap. She was, I think, 3 years older than me, and I was already just shot. Like I was like 17, and she was like 20,
Okay.
which is still weird.
It's
mind you.
it's
That's
better.
I don't know. I feel like just like your brains are just at like so different spots because you just grow considerably.
Well, see,
within
you're
that time.
assuming
Yeah.
here that she wasn't a child on the inside, which she was.
Doesn't
Damn.
make it any better.
But so I leave dating this girl, and I want to state the most important part about this is that my sister sees me walking around talking to this girl all the time, and she comes up to me and she's like, "I know you.
Oh.
I know what you do. Stop.
I know what you do.
It's not worth it with this one. It's not worth it."
Listen,
And
I know you. I know your shtick. Cut it out.
I have a very particular set of skills, and it's figuring out who you're trying to kiss.
Stop.
I know how I know your shtick. It's the Joker.
She's like, you like a little smile? But yeah, she comes up and she's like, "Don't do it. Trust me, she crazy." And you know I wouldn't say that. if it wasn't serious. Because I've never given you advice on a single woman you have ever been with. And I'm like, but like, she's kind of cute though.
You jealous?
So I dated her, and it was a train wreck. She threw a lamp at me.
What?
Yeah.
Did the lamp break?
Is the lamp okay?
Why
the
is
lamp-
that our first
The
concern?
lamp was less okay than me, but more okay than our relationship.
Is there some symbolism with that lamp?
So, anyways,
Jacob's dying in the booth.
it was bad. And after this, and this, because I realized it only when we started talking about this topic. We never went on a date.
Oh,
Really?
We never went
Fun.
on a single date. She lived in a very far away city.
mm-hmm.
So we just like talked all the time and did like video calls and stuff. And I'd find ways to see her, but it was never like an actual date.
Sorry, how long did you date for?
3 months.
3 months?
Whoa.
And I realized, like kind of now looking at it, that if we had gone on one-on-one date away from the kind of like weird situation of a leadership camp, all of that like weird inflated confidence gone and less
Yes.
horny,
Oh.
to be blunt, you're left with the situation where I don't think we would have made it past
Making
week 1.
s'mores gets me going, man. God.
Whoa.
I see the fire and the passion gets fiery. And I'm just like, what I want to say here is that I think having a first date that isn't a double date, that isn't a group date, that isn't just rushing into a relationship because you think you have feelings for someone is important. Don't start dating until you've had a first date. Even if you've known each other for like 8 years, because so much changes in that context.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially if you've known her for maybe 3 days and the reason you're dating her is because she's really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elijah, you got any?
Okay, quick story.
Oh,
Really,
our sweet boy.
real damper on the podcast. I broke up with my girlfriend like a month ago, like late November. I was in this program. I met her. I work at a restaurant near our college. Met her at the restaurant. It was like a year and a half ago, like the summer of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I think our first date, I took her because my brother does comedy. I took her to a comedy show. Comedy shows are fun because just like we just don't sit at the front because then you're just getting asked to like be picked on by the comedian.
Yeah.
That's just like a
Especially
that's
your
like
brother.
that's the golden that's the golden rule. I think my brother like explicitly told the comedians like don't pick on them, like no matter where they sit, like don't be like, oh, how long have you guys been together for? Because that's the classic like
Gas
Yeah.
this one man up.
yeah.
How long have you been together for, and why is it not long enough? Look at this man. He's hot.
Look at this man. My brother bought us a round of root beer. Shout out my brother, Aaron.
Aaron sounds like a great guy.
If you're listening to the podcast, appreciate you.
Thank
I want to
you.
meet Aaron someday.
Me too.
You will. We'll go to a show. Yeah. So this comedy show is like pretty chill. Cause like, what do you do when you're like not legal drinking age? Like you can't like you just when you're 19.
This is why the root beer.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you're 19, you just unlock places to go. But, like we didn't get to level 19 yet.
I'm
we
so
didn't
excited.
we didn't unlock that yet. It was like root beer and funny laughs in an open space, and that's all we had access to. Like that was it. But it was fun. It was good.
And some French fries.
Some French fries, some
Delicious.
laughs. We were like sitting on. It was just like in a brewery. We were just sitting in like broken like wooden picnic benches.
We already took like a bit of a downturn, so I'm just gonna like double down on it.
Oh.
When this happened, you told me, and I remember being so unsure of how to help, and not in some way that I thought I was
Yeah.
gonna like fix things,
Mhm.
but I was like, I know how Elijah would make me feel better, but I don't think that is what would make him feel better here. Do I give him space? And because you're a little bit more reclusive when it comes to
Yeah.
it seems stupid to say you're reclusive when it comes to your feelings. You also sometimes just drop a bombshell for fun.
Sometimes, like just now. Hey.
Yeah. But like you're a little bit less expressive, and I think you're the last person that would ask for help.
Yeah, I don't ask for help.
Yeah. And so I was trying to figure out, I was like, how can I at least offer it without feeling like it's just one of those basic sentiments? So I feel like enough time has passed. What was done well or could have been done differently or been added by, like, we'll say the friend group as a whole to have better supported you there so that we can further support our other quiet kings?
That is a loaded question. I don't know. I have to like. It just takes me a while to like process like heavy bits of information like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like saw it coming too. Like it wasn't like it didn't catch me off guard. You know, like severing the relationship, but it was like a steady decline for a while. So like. I was like done a shift once, and she was like, "Yeah, we need to talk." And like my heart sank. I'm like, I know exactly what is going to happen in the next like 30 minutes, and my life will change drastically.
Yeah.
Like my brain will be altered for a little bit. And it's just like I have to like sit with those like feelings for a bit. Like I just can't talk to anybody because like I don't want to like exude that depressing energy. Like I just don't want to be.
That's not what you should worry about.
That is what I worry about. It's probably very unhealthy, but it's just like I need to like think about, okay, I am sad. Why am I sad? Why am I feeling this way before I open myself up to talk to people?
I think the introspection's good. I think the concern about being like a downer is not. Here's a take that you can do what you wish with, but I think you'll agree. The thing that made us close so fast is that everyone except for you was somewhat inebriated, and we got way too vulnerable on the first night we had real conversations.
Oh, we sure did do that.
That's true.
We sure
And
did do
Being
think
the
about
only like sober person in a room is fun.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Now, like from me considering your perspective of that is hilarious. But if that hadn't happened, who knows if you would have like happened to chill with us again if we hadn't made like that sincere of a connection.
Yeah.
Because we just like you were kind of just with us, and you kind of just tagged along. And I was like, I don't really know who this guy is, but cool, he seems chill. And then by the end of it, like next day, I was like, he's one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, there's as much as I understand being worried about bringing the mood down. And yeah, don't go to a birthday party and be like, yeah, I'm
My
kinda
life
worried.
is fine, guys. I'm just like as a knife is like actively in my stomach. I'm like, I'm all right, guys. Like, no, you see you're stabbed. Like, dude, take it out, heal your wounds, please.
Don't take it out.
Don't take it out.
Yeah, don't.
You get the point.
Newsflash for anyone listening: if you get impaled with anything,
Don't take it out.
don't pull it out. Let the medics handle that because it actually helps stop some of the bleeding.
Pro tip. Don't take it out.
Pro tip: don't get stabbed. Anyways.
Yeah, honestly.
Best.
Also, I
best
want to
advice.
clarify: any advice on this show is not medical or otherwise.
Yeah,
sound
don't take
advice,
this as gospel, please.
No.
Please.
unless you're
please.
Brendan Urie.
Which we're not.
It's just because
And none of us are.
I know.
Didn't he have like a controversy recently?
Yeah, multiple.
Oh, yeah. Then maybe we should tell Brendan Urie to take our medical advice.
Sure.
Just him specifically.
Yeah, pull the knife out. Try that.
Oh gosh. Do
Try it,
not
only
take
Brendan
this as a
Urie.
threat.
This is not a threat. No.
This is a joke. This is a little jesty jab.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh man. Oh, there's people.
Dude, the automatic lights that turn on and off outside of the studio startle me every time. We'll be in the middle of a deep talk. It's like, yeah, and that was when I knew the relationship was over. Flick, flick.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh my god, the lights.
Yeah, who's in the college this late? Why are they here?
A class just ended.
Oh,
There's like for context, there's just like 15 people that walked out of one elevator at like 9 o'clock at night.
that's crazy. Hey, you know what else is crazy? It's time for bed.
That's
Good
the end of
night.
the episode.
Thanks so much for tuning in. I know we cut it a little bit in a weird spot this time, but we're going overtime, and I want to make sure that we can get as much content to you guys as possible, and that means not overdoing it. So thank you so much for tuning in. This has been The Midnight Hour. Good night.